folks, Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Yeah, it's the best I got. It's early in the morning. Hey, we're doing a review today of two awesome phones. Well, one of them. I shouldn't be that way. That's a horrible way to be, isn't it? We have two great phones here from the amzn.to Corporation with the fastest downloads and upload speeds. Thanks to them for sharing the phones with us today. We have the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Oh my gosh, it's the newest phone on the market, at least right now. And we have the Nokia Lumia 1020. Very popular phone with people in the Windows environment, like the Windows OS, and of course all that good stuff. So we're going to compare these two phones with a quick versus comparison today. Be sure to tune in for the full versus comparison. Give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube so you can get all the wonderful data that we'll be doing and all the versus comparisons we'll be doing with both these phones over the next little while. So let's get into it and see what these are about. First, let's take a look at the size. As you can see here, there definitely is a size difference between these two babies, and the Note 3 is much bigger. Screen-wise, the Note 3 is a 1080p screen, so it's much bigger in and of itself, and of course you can see here. Now, the 1080p screen that's on the Note 3 is a very beautiful screen. I think we're just a 720p screen that's on the 1020. We're running at 768 by 1280 pixels, which I think makes it roughly 720 or a little bit more than that. It's got an okay, beautiful screen. It reads really nice and looks really good, but I think the screen kind of wins the battle here on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Talking about battery on both these, you've got a 3200 milliamp hour battery, and I believe we just have a 2000 milliamp hour battery in the Nokia Lumia 1020, so definitely more battery power over here. No expandable memory in the Nokia Lumia 1020. We have expandable memory, removable back, removable battery on the Note 3. One other key thing here that is really awesome, the Note 3 has 3 gigabytes of RAM. Very few, if any, US market phones currently have 3 gigabytes of RAM, so that is pretty darn cool when you think about it. You, of course, have the Windows OS over here. Many people like Windows 8. They like the Metro way that it kind of operates. Of course, they don't call it Metro anymore, but that's kind of the look how it started out, was calling it Metro. Then over here you have the Android. It has the latest version of Android. I believe it's 4.3 or 3.4, or it's one of those. It's the latest version of Android that's on the Note 3. I'm spacing at this point in time. One thing that the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 has that the Nokia Lumia 1020 does not, it has a stylus that you can take and pull out. So that's another feature that you can take and do if you're considering the two of these babies. Now, the camera on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 is a 13 megapixel camera. 13 megapixels. It takes a beautiful video, and the cool thing is it has 4K video. It'll do 4K video at 30 frames per second. It'll also do 1080p video at 60 frames per second, which make it very rich. But I think the camera that will win this battle, if you don't count the 4K and the 60 frames per second on 1080p, when it comes to photographs, this camera on the Nokia 1020, pretty much a lot of people agree the 41 megapixel camera that's on here is probably one of the best cameras, one of the best low-light cameras that you can pretty much find out there. I'd say the rivalry is pretty close here, but I'd probably give the camera win to the Nokia Lumia. It's just much better camera. Now, a lot of the different work that's put into it, the 41 megapixels, is a software faction, so you can decide what you think about that and everything else. With the Samsung Galaxy, you're looking at 2.3 gigahertz Qualcomm 800 processor, one of the fastest, if not the fastest processors on the mobile market in the US right now. Super blazing fast speed. And on the Nokia Lumia 1020, I think you're looking at probably a much lower thing. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick for us here on our cheat sheets. So it looks like we got pulled out. It's a 1.5 gigahertz. So huge difference in the speed quality of these. This is almost twice as fast the way it's going. And of course, you can see it's got a much more beautiful screen. I love the Nokia 1020 for taking pictures. That's about it. It takes great pictures. It's got a nice solid one-piece body, polycarbonate body. And that's about it. It's a good phone, but if you like Windows, it's great. The one issue you have, as you probably know with Windows, is you have limited apps. Very limited apps you can take and get. Yeah, most of the big popular ones, but still, you're fairly limited. I'm not really sold on the notifications menu, but if you love the Nokia product and the Windows, hey, you know, it's your thing. Maybe you're someone who you're the anti-popular person who likes the anti-popular toys, who's like, I'm going the other way that everyone else goes, and you demand going that. One thing you can do with the Nokia is you can do charging, where you can lay it on the chargers and it will do induction charging or whatever you want to call it. So we'll do that. So one thing we want to talk about with the Note 3 that are specific to it, some great innovations, is it comes with reading mode that makes the screen better for reading, multi-window, S-Beam, NFC, which also is in the Nokia, I should say. Smart Stay, Smart Pause, Smart Scroll, all these different things that work with the screen. Air View, where you can hover over the screen and do stuff. Air Gesture, where you can take and do air gesture, is pretty cool. One thing they added with the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 is a news flip forward function that's really cool. I like that, and it pulls in your social media, your gallery, your pictures, all that sort of good stuff. One thing they added is a new feature to the Stylus, where it has a pop-up air command where you can do action memo, scrapbooker, screen write, S-Finder. And one thing that's really cool is you can create pen windows, and I love this pen window feature. You can just draw anywhere on the screen and create a window of a YouTube video, chat on, clock, calculator, internet sort of thing, dialer, all that good stuff. And what's even neat is I can take and minimize it. This is the thing I really, really love. You can see there's a little icon now there that I can open. And of course I can expand it, I can move it around, I can close it, and all that good stuff. So really, really cool what they've done with the Stylus. If you like to draw, the Note 2 is for you. Now, when you consider both these devices, one of the things you also have to consider is how comfortable it feels in your hand. They're both pretty bulky and they're both pretty heavy, especially the 1020. It almost feels like it's about as heavy as the Note 3. So you kind of have to decide maybe if you want to live with the bulk. It's a little bit harder to put in your pocket with the Note 3, but it's up to you. Now with the Note 3, of course, you've got the faux leather back on it. I don't seem to mind it. Feels just comfortable and fine to me. You've got the removable battery that's in the back. You've got the expandable memory up to 64 gigabytes with the micro SD card that you can take and put in it. It's got a really, really strong speaker, better than the speakers that have been in the Galaxies before, especially since most times the Samsung Galaxy speaker is in the back. Now it's in the bottom, and it seems to come out a whole lot more clear and everything else. For my money and for my win, I do think the camera is probably one of the best cameras for the Nokia 1020 out there on the market, for Nokia Lumia, I should say. For the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, it beats the Lumia hands down a million times over, unless you're just a hardcore Windows person. You don't care what your phone is, you don't care about your apps and everything else. You maybe just want a great camera. Well, then go with the Windows Lumia 1020. I have that phone too. So there you have it. There's a review on these two phones. Be sure to watch a full in-depth one. We'll go into all the incredible details in each of these phones. But thanks to our good friends at amzn.to for the fastest download and upload speeds and loaning us the phones. And be sure to check into and subscribe and like the Chris Voss Show.com. Thanks for coming by.